A divorce is never pretty. A divorce can get ugly. And I'm sorry, folks, but sometimes things end. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. Everything that has a beginning must and will have an end. This is the course of things. But occasionally, people betray who they are. They cheat and they lie. One person in particular goes by the name of AOC. Oh, AOC and DSA. DSA just filed for divorce against AOC. And it's sad. Very sad. We are all saddened by it. Me, not really, but I'm just laughing anyways. But it's so sad. Yes, I know. They actually took back their endorsement. They took it back. The status of DSA's national endorsement. So what exactly happened? Because there's a lot of things happening now. The great facade, the great mask that AOC once put up for progressives has finally cracked, I think. I think this time now it is official. And I think DSA, in a desperate attempt to maybe maintain whatever is left of its credibility, which is zero, hell, negative 0.0% of its credibility left. Let's talk about it. So first of all, here's what's going on. Status of DSA endorsement, national endorsement of Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, also known as AOC. On Sunday, June 23rd, the DSA National Political Committee, NPCs, non-playable characters, voted to endorse Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez as long as she fulfills the following conditions. What are those conditions? Publicly opposes all funding to Israel, including the Iron Dome. She voted president on that, you stupid idiots. Participates regularly in the DSA Federal Socialist of Office Committee. You idiots. Stupid. Publicly opposes all criminalization of anti-Zionism, such as bills advancing the IHRA definition that conflates criticism of Israel with anti-Semitism. That was never going to happen. And publicly supports BDS, boycott, divest, and sanction, to end Israeli settler colonialism. Well, gee, DSA, what do you think happened, huh? What do you think happened? This initial endorsement request was considered upon request of New York City's DSA Steering Committee. Earlier this week, the NPC received a request from NYC DSA SC to withdraw the endorsement because it took place after the New York Democratic primary, and they did not expect a conditional endorsement or feel it was strategic because we have not seen evidence of AOC meeting these conditions, and she never will. She was that hot girl that was like, yeah, she likes you, and then she keeps on leaving you on red. She's ghosting you. At the request of the NYC DSA SC, anyway, Steering Committee, the NPC is withdrawing our conditional endorsement of Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, although she will remain endorsed by our New York City chapter. Oh, you little puss. Come on. Go all the way. Don't be cowards. In the last several months, thousands of DSA members provided input about the prospect, thousands, really, you do, of national endorsement through town halls, meetings, engaging in chapters, discussions, and AOC was invited to speak as a member forum. Many members have supported national endorsement while at the same time demanding that AOC demonstrate higher level of commitment to Palestinian liberation, self-determination, and the immediate end of the heinous genocide in Gaza committed by Israel that aligns with DSA's positions and expectations of socialists in office. What makes you think she's going to listen to you guys when she goes to that Met Gala events or other fancy events, wearing fancy clothes and looking cat fancy? I mean, the only reason why she showed up at the protest was there for a photo op, and then that's it. Hey, do you think she stood in solidarity with you guys as everyone was getting arrested? You think AOC would ever do what Jill Stein did? No, probably not. Probably not. We recognize that AOC has taken many courageous positions on Palestine, such as courageous, such as co-sponsoring several House resolutions, 3103, 786, 496, naming Israel's genocide, as well as opposing House Resolution 894. However, members have raised their concerns regarding a number of her votes, including a vote in favor of House Resolution 888, conflating opposition to Israel's right to exist with anti-Semitism. IOC also co-signed a press release April 20th, 2024 that supports strengthening the Iron Dome and other defense systems. Goodness gracious, Cretaceous. DSA, if you didn't think that she wasn't going to go all the way in supporting Israel or the Democratic Party, I mean, come on. Don't you remember old hagbag Nancy wagging that old talon finger in her face, making her cry? Finally, AOC recently hosted a public panel with leaders of the Jewish Council for Public Affairs, lobbyists for IHRA definition of anti-Semitism. On this panel, she conflated anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism, condemned boycotting Zionist institutions. This sponsorship is a deep betrayal to all those who risked their welfare to fight Israel apartheid and genocide through political and direct action in recent months and in decades past. A national DSA endorsement comes with a serious commitment to the movement for Palestine and our collective socialist project. We must endorse candidates who enthusiastically seek a relationship with DSA and the National Political Committee as the highest body of organization between conventions is responsible for setting the criteria we establish for national endorsements. Chapters have a responsibility to make this clear to their endorsed candidates when applying for national endorsement. You guys never did that for AOC. You guys were fundraising off of her as well. So when she was twerking on the stage, you guys were right there twerking with her. I remember 2018. We're not dumb. The NPC is committed to ensuring that all of our elected officials are unabashed in their support for Palestinian freedom. To build a socialist movement that's capable of defeating capitalism, we must demand more from leaders in our movement. But you never did. You never did. And see, the thing is, what's funny about this divorce with AOC and DSA is that we have to remember that AOC would not have come into existence were it not for a certain person or two people, Dime Store M&M, Kyle Kalinske, and Fat Tony, Cenk Uygur from TYT. And a recent video just captured my attention because it's very close in connection to that statement that DSA wrote. Because it's funny. It's funny to me because when I play this video, you will hear in the background, maybe you'll be listening, but you will hear the laughter of first name Jimmy, last name Dore. Because we called out AOC. Everybody did. Jimmy, Hardlands, Due Dissidents, RBN, INN, everybody. Because she failed to stand with us, especially at the height of Force the Vote. And so Cenk Uygur, who co-founded Justice Democrats, which he was kicked out of, says that AOC abandoned the organization's principle of confronting power. She just got in to go along. Gee, Cenk, maybe you should have vetted your candidates a little bit better, but you don't have to believe me. Let's pull up this video right here. 1 minute and 18 seconds of pure gold. And somewhere out there, Jimmy Dore's laughing, as should all of you be laughing. This is beautiful. Beautiful.
Well, a lot of the dynamics that you've described are documented pretty well in Ryan Grimm's book on the Squad, where he actually documents the pressures that were put on, and in fact, a couple of the people you cite as being pivotal in AOC's victory squeezed out, according to his reporting of the office, for essentially being too confrontational. The confrontational approach was just considered, okay, well, that's going to burn it down. That's not going to do anything. We need to be more pragmatic.
So let me be clear. Ryan's reporting is totally accurate.
Yeah,
I was there. I know exactly what happened. And the minute that AOC pushed out Shoykat Chakrabarti and Corbin Trent, the two people who were most pivotal in getting her elected, is the minute that the dream of Justice Democrats began to evaporate. Because that meant she's not going to do the plan. She's just going to go along to get along, and she's going to go to the Met Gala, and she's going to be a celebrity. And it worked for her, because since she did not have a confrontation with mainstream media helped to build her up as some sort of superstar, because at that point she was already neutered, and they knew that she would not cause any damage or any trouble. So that's the deal she made, even though she doesn't know she made that deal.
Oh, Fat Tony. Oh, Cenk. She knows she made the deal. See, the problem with Justice Democrats and Brand New Congress, Our Revolution, and DSA is that, when 2018 was going on, when 2018 was happening, it was the aftermath of the 2016 election cycle. And we all remember that we were very motivated and angry, about how the Democrats conducted themselves and how progressives could actually fight back. And boy, oh boy, were they bringing in the money. DSA, Brand New Congress, Our Revolution. Justice Democrats, just us Democrats. But see, the problem is when these organizations were promoting these people, including AOC, they never had like a written contract in which AOC and the other members of the squad and those that would follow after, that would be, I don't know, connected or ensure that they would still have open communications with their base and have real accountability. What these organizations did is that they propped up people and then threw them in the pond, the swamp pond, the cesspool, the raw sewage as Washington, D.C., and assumed that they would swim okay and not be corrupted. Well, AOC knew what she was doing. She knows how to play the game. She's not dumb. Well, all right. Maybe she might be ignorant for some things here and there, but all in all, she's playing her game. And I think she's found her role, the greatest role she'll ever play, and that is Nancy Pelosi 2.0. She is the successor to it. She is the clone copy of it. I remember when AOC was consistent. I remember when she said she was going to be an uno term Congresswoman. I remember when she said that. And now, since she's won her primary, she's obviously going to go into the general election. She very well could get reelected. Who knows what will happen? But nonetheless, she has made a name for herself. She allowed the money and the power to get to her because that's what she wanted. She's not a fighter. She never gave a damn about the people. Here, we're going to do a little bit of a YouTube rewind time. But before we do, again, if you're just tuning in right now, just so all of you can see it, DSA taking back and removing its national endorsement of her because everybody knows who she is. Everybody knows what she's about. But let's go ahead and go back in time here. Just to go back in time, because we should. We should indeed. To find out what she said and what she did. Because for some reason, AOC, you think we forgot. We didn't.
We can't even get a floor vote on Medicare for all.
That's garbage. You can do it right now. We need 15 Democrats.
Jimmy.
We need the elected officials that you helped get elected to tell Nancy Pelosi that you will not vote for her as speaker unless Medicare for all is put on the House floor for a vote.
I think it's a really smart idea.
You know, the worst abuse of power, Crystal, is not using the power you have to fight for people.
Will they? Time to let AOC know they have no other option because we're watching and we see through their bullshit excuses.
We have to put public pressure on them.
I want to see who's going to vote against healthcare in the middle of a pandemic. If you're not going to do it now, you are never going to do it, you phony.
All the people who filled up your voicemail, they're going to remember.
And I also want to read out Grapentine. Wow, interesting because it's so obvious now. I would have thought these clowns would always pick AOC, but it appears it's overwhelmingly obvious because they were living in their own reality. You know, I remember even when Force to Vote was happening, which is why I'm playing this video. Because when we were asking her to fight, hey, DSA, Force to Vote is your freaking idea. You guys should have been front and center. You should have knocked Jimmy Dore out of the way and be like, hey, Jimmy, thanks. We got it from here. And boom, ran with it. But you didn't because you wanted to protect your little AOC. You wanted to protect her so she could keep on twerking on stage so you guys could keep on getting that money. But then she realized she didn't need you guys, just like how my audience is saying it right now in the live stream chat. She didn't need you anymore. So cry me a river.
Remember whether you did the right thing here.
Which side are they really on? This is where you force progressive House members to reveal who they answer to. Do they answer to their constituents or do they answer to the party bosses? Listen to AOC's own words.
The Democratic Party does not do more unless it is pushed.
And so this moment is the great unmasking.
Force it to happen.
Ask them, are you fighters or are you careerists? Are you activists for the people or are you posers on Twitter?
Everyone's going to try to tell you that if you're just a little bit nicer, then it'll be fine. No.
The whole point of protesting is to make people uncomfortable. You got to make them uncomfortable. She's pretending to be part of a movement when she's really running cover for Nancy Pelosi. Did you think anybody voted for you so you could vote Nancy Pelosi without getting them anything? This is Medicare for all. People's actual lives depend on us doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's your chance to actually use your leverage. Will you?
Take risks.
Or will you be a party fucking climber?
start bringing the ruckus on the Democratic Party. Force it to happen. Do not trust any political party to automatically work in your interest.
I call on everybody in
Somebody's out of a job.
independent media to join this mission.
Force it to happen.
Force the Congress to show which side are they really on. No vote for Nancy Pelosi unless Medicare for all is put on the House floor for a vote.
By the way, I also want to pull up something here too, because Prim 54 brings up a very good point. Besides, we already saw from Bowman from the Bowman elections that she doesn't have the online poll that she used to have. So with all of this being said, you think AOC is going to change her reckless ways? You think AOC is going to wake up and see the light? Well, no, because AOC, the most ineffectual congresswoman, has done something. I mean, again, it's nothing, but it's something. She has time to do this. Today, I introduce articles of impeachment against Supreme Court Justices Clarence Thomas and Sam Alito. She has time to do that. Time to do that. Articles of impeachment. Now, I could play this video of her talking, but I think you guys don't want to deal with some of that abuse. But hey, just maybe a few seconds, just to hear her talk about how important corruption is. Tell us, AOC, why this is a big deal.
Reasonable Americans will and do believe that Justices Thomas and Alito are prone and subject to corruption, that the institution failing to punish them is broken, and that consequently their impeachment is a constitutional imperative and our congressional duty. The abuses of power committed by Justice Thomas and Justice Alito are precisely the types of corruption that the framers understood was an existential threat to our democracy.
Constitutional republic.
Instances like these and misconduct like that of Alito's and Thomas's are precisely why the framers gave us the tool of impeachment. Corruption without consequence infects all it touches. And that is why this body, Congress, has a constitutional and moral obligation to hold these justices accountable, to maintain the integrity of our courts, and to uphold the standards of the judiciary and our institutions.
So who wants to tell her? That's only like 1 minute, 13 seconds. It's 3 minutes, 21 seconds. And you know something, guys? It's her just yelling into an empty void. Who wants to tell her that all of Washington, D.C. is corrupt? AOC, you've been there now for how long since 2018? All those years? And you're just kind of maybe noticing now that there's some weird corruption happening? Don't be a clown. Don't be stupid. Because you're talking about corruption in the Supreme Court, and yes, there is corruption there. But what about Congress? I mean, you're asking a criminal to be judge, jury, and executioner to another criminal. It's all one big club, AOC. You should know better. This is all performative. It's all a dance. It's all a lie. And this is what you call a lap dance that you get from a stripper, you know? It's just there for show. And that's what AOC is doing. This impeachment against the Supreme Court justices won't go anywhere. We're in an election cycle. You think Congress is going to do that? This is all for show, smoke and mirrors, and DSA, Justice Democrats, brand new Congress, our revolution. You guys and gals went to bat for her. And when we asked her to fight, all of you kept saying, including you, Fat Tony, who now you're shocked that AOC would do this. You said to us back then, keep our powder dry. We got to keep our powder dry. And the reason why I am talking about this story is because when we called out AOC, we were called crazy. We were called insane. We were called unreasonable. We were told that we were promoting violence, but yet now DSA, it's so freaking obvious. Now Fat Tony and Justice Democrats, it's so freaking obvious. Now our revolution from Bernie Sanders' asshole. Now it's so freaking obvious. And brand new Congress, what the hell is that? Now it's so obvious. AOC is nothing but a performative dancer. a lackluster B-list celebrity who no longer has her internet pull like she once had. And these politicians deserve to be criticized and be called out. Now, divorce is never pretty, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people crying. But there's some of us that are laughing because it was so abundantly clear that you can't reform the Democratic Party. You can't fix something that doesn't want to be fixed. You can't uncorrupt something that doesn't want to be uncorrupted. Madness and insanity. And that's who AOC is. A liar and Nancy Pelosi 2.0, which is what she is. I mean, get ready if Donald Trump gets reelected for her to do her performative art again. And I'm willing to bet that possibly, most likely, DSA is going to come crawling back because they need that money. They put all their eggs in one basket for these quote unquote progressives that are in Washington, D.C. But the product is bad. They got bad product. It's not good. And when it's tainted with the Democratic Party, it's nothing but poison.